evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Nigerian military takes on Boko Haram terrorists at Sambisa forest, raises hopes on release of those held captive. Enugu State's governor summons 200 traditional rulers, agrees to empower local vigilantes to secure the entire state against herdsmen attack. Federal government says Nigeria lost close to $15 billion on fraudulent security spending. And Cameroonian President Paul Biya arrives Nigeria tomorrow for a state visit.
On business news tonight, President of the Nigeria Labour Congress believes federal government can successfully run state-owned enterprises.
And on sports news tonight, Manchester City striker Kelechi Iheanacho looks forward to facing Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League semi-final at the Bernabeu.
We begin with news just in. The president has just gone into a closed-door meeting with members of the Catholic Bishops Association of Nigeria. It's not clear what the agenda of the meeting is, but we're told that they have just been received by the president and have gone into a closed-door meeting led by their president, Bishop Ignatius Kegama. We'll bring you details of the story as we get them. Meanwhile, the fall of Sambisa appears to be near, going by the assurances given by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishakin. The general explains that the military is presently conducting what he called a major clearance operation in Sambisa forest. The operation, which is already 5 days on, is expected to lead to the crackdown of all abducted people, including the Chibok girls, if they are there, and other civilians forcefully taken as child soldiers by Boko Haram. The army chief, who met with the chief of army staff as well as the chief of air staff in the military command in the control center in Borno State, also informed the media that the operation is being appraised and there may be need to re-strategize.
There are 5 little operations within that big operation. Rescue operation is also one of the operations. And everyone that have been adopted by the Boko Haram terrorists will be rescued in the operation, including, of course, the Chibok girls, if they are there. Apart from that, operation is actually to wipe out, to clear Sambisa, and that's Operation Crackdown. The operation is on course. Like I said, it's 5 days gone now. The little issues that are being encountered by the troops will be addressed, and so that the momentum of the operation can be sustained. And then we have some counter IED equipment that we have deployed, and other ingenious solutions that we will also put in place to ensure that the operation goes as planned. I want Nigerians to know that we are determined to wipe out the terrorists from our land, and from the Sambisa axis, we're really committed to ensuring that we clear them as soon as possible.
Staying with security, the Joint Security Forces in Kano State, northwest Nigeria, have confirmed the arrest of 2 suspected Boko Haram members, one of which is expected to have aided and participated in the killing of late General Shua. Addressing a press conference, the commander of the 3rd Brigade in Kano, Brigadier General Hamisu Hassan, says Muhammad Nafiu confessed to have participated in the killing of late Shua and many other Boko Haram operations in the northwest and east respectively. General Hamisu says the other suspect, Ali Amir, confessed to have been a preacher of the group since 2009, but later disappeared after the killing of the Boko Haram leader, Muhammad Yusuf. There is pandemonium in Jadankashi community in Sanga local government area of Kaduna State following reports that Bala Madaki and his nephew Tanko have been murdered by unknown gunmen. Their intentions were not known, but eyewitnesses account that the gunmen invaded the traditional ruler's home at about 10 p.m. Sunday night. The latest attack has created huge tension in the community as residents remain indoors with shops and markets closed. Meanwhile, the state governor, Nasir El-Rufai, has condemned the attack and has ordered the deployment of police to ensure maintenance of law and order. The Vice President of Nigeria has revealed today that the country lost $15 billion to fraudulent and corrupt practices in the security equipment spending during the last administration. Professor Yemi Osinbajo made this known at a book presentation of the Ibadan-based elite group House of Lords, which just published an in-depth analysis by different experts titled Nigeria, the Challenges of Growth and Development. With the nation's foreign reserves now around $27 billion, the Vice President drove home the significance of corruption in the country, noting that the $15 billion figure is, quote, more than half of the current foreign reserves in the country. He said what the president is trying to do is to ensure that there are consequences for corruption and is sending a message that anyone found to have been corrupt would not only dislodge the property they have stolen, but will also pay for it in terms of sanctions of the law. While observing that the president has kept a sustained fight against corruption, the vice president said the country could not sustain the shocking level of public sector corruption in particular. He compared Nigeria's situation with what had happened in Singapore years ago. The vice president noted the reason why the tiny resourceless island is richer than most of sub-Saharan Africa with its vast resources, its values, hard work, integrity, innovation promoted by committed elite. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, says the World Bank looks set to release more information on the spending of recovered loot by the late General Sani Abacha. The World Bank will be referring to a portion of an appeal by SERAP to the Bank Archives Unit for processing for public access. SERAP is asking for how the $50 million Abacha loot received before 2005 kept in the special accounts was spent. It also wants evidence and location of schools which benefited from the Universal Basic Education Program, as well as evidence and location of the 13 road projects completed with the recovered Abacha loot. To the environment now, Nigerians have been advised to start planting trees in the face of the impact of climate change on the country. Some experts made the appeal during a discussion session to mark the 50th birthday celebration of the wife of the governor of Ogun State, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosun. The discussants say this becomes necessary in the face of high temperature, desertification, erosion and flooding affecting all parts of the country.
Of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, accompanied by the wife of the Vice President, Oludolakbo Osinbajo, leads distinguished guests, among them top government officials, captains of industries, and traditional rulers to honor the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Olufunsho Amosun, as she celebrates her 50th birthday. In celebrating, Mrs. Amosun directs attention to the nation's depleting natural resources in an environmental discourse with a theme, greening the economy.
Mrs. Amosun has chosen a theme that is special and completely un-Nigerian. She's chosen to draw attention the environment. Human development has taken a very high toll. We are competing for space in the greener part of the country.
The keynote speaker tells her listeners that every plastic bag, wrap or plastic bottle stays within the environment, turning into plastic dust that really never goes away. She reminds the audience that not disposing their wastes properly have negative impacts on the environment. But then, what can we do?
We have to recruit more advocates. We have to educate people, which is what we're doing here today. We can produce energy from waste. We can reduce waste, we can reuse, and we can recycle. What else can we do? We can have penalties and rewards.
Speaker after speaker asks every Nigerian to join the Green Revolution.
The cost of getting, for instance, wood from the forest is not as cheap as it used to be. Because of that, you need to be smarter in your thoughts, you need to be more innovative, you need to look at enterprise and to look at what is acceptable.
DHL flies at least 8 plane loads out out of Nairobi full of flowers and fruit to Europe. So if you want to make some quick money, start planting trees, start planting flowers, be part of this agricultural revolution, and this is a serious revolution now.
The ministers in charge of both the environment and the finance ministries represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the event. Their message is to assure every Nigerian that no one will be left behind.
We will empower people, and it will be green empowerment. We will take climate action. We will protect the environment, and we'll do that for every Nigerian, making sure we leave no one behind.
The husband of the celebrant, Governor Ibikunle Amosun, in his goodwill message, urges the youths present at the event to do their parts.
Great Nigeria students! Thank you. You know the Gbagba, the Gogo that we are going to do is to be planting trees. So when I say great Gbagba, plant a tree. Great Gogo, plant a tree. Great Gbagba Gogo, plant tree.
The former Senate President, Ken Nnamani, supervises the cutting of the birthday cake, and the celebrant is just full of thanks.
You can see the excitement in her.
Several years before today, I have said that when I turn 50, I would just like to give thanks to God that I wouldn't even mind spending it alone with my children. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that it would be a day of such outpouring of love. This is the card from Mr. President.
While the people present here show her so much love, what Mrs. Amosun wants them to take away from here is to show more love for their environment. Ayola Kasim reporting for Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, Cameroonian President Paul Biya visits Nigeria tomorrow. Please stay with us.